Billy and Bennett. Billie Eilish on Most Requested Live Worldwide with Romeo.
Billy, what's up?
What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Release weekend. It's exciting.
I know, it's scary. I'm good though. I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. I mean, like the world shuts down. You and Phineas have this unexpected time now to create this album with no pressure, no deadline. Like, how much did that help the creative process for you?
It helped a lot. It's funny though, like, because it really wasn't a COVID album. It was not. It didn't feel like one.
Mm.
It just happened to be when we made the album. Like that's it. That's just a coincidence. But we had time. I mean, like, my life has been like for like 5 years. So
Yeah.
it was like the first, I mean, just the first 2 weeks was the most time off that I had had in 5 or 4 years. And I remember being like, oh my God, I get 2 weeks off and then I go back to the. That was not true. That was not true at all. But it helped, it was nice to, as much as it was the worst thing in the world and I wish that it hadn't happened, at the same time it was very, it was a moment to actually process what I had just been through for the last 4 years and what my life had looked like, and just actually think about it in terms of, or if from a different, outsider perspective, like post perspective. So yeah.
And that's what I want to get into. Therapy has played a major role in my life, obviously countless others as well. I'm just curious how therapy and just navigating your thoughts, your anxieties, how much that played a role in Happier Than Ever.
Whew. Well, I didn't start therapy again until January, which meant, we only, I think we almost finished the album. We just had to write, like, we hadn't made Oxytocin or Male Fantasy,
Okay.
um, or I think NDA. I think those were the last three that we made. And Yeah, so I didn't have therapy through the album process, but I had my brother, so I feel like that
Mm.
was the kind of replacement for therapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and just being able to talk through things that I haven't actually been able to process in, a year or three, was really
Sure.
nice, because again, I say this all the time of like, it's really hard to understand and take in what's going on in the moment. Like, whereas like after the fact, a few weeks later, a few years later, it's so much easier to think back really
Hmm.
about what
And
actually.
process it. Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about NDA, and from that song to Therefore I Am. I mean, like what you said, this album is cohesive yet versatile, right? So I'm just wondering, like, how you think you've just grown as an artist on this new project.
Ooh, a lot. I uh I mean, first of all, I made my debut album when I was mostly 15. That's a big difference, 15
Yeah,
to 18, 19 is really a different brain, and a different body and a different voice. I mean, you can
mm,
hear the difference in my voice. It's really, I mean, obvious as hell. Like, I think you listen to, like, uh anything from Don't Smile at Me, anything from When We All Fall Asleep, compared to this new album, and it's like it
mm.
sounds almost like a different person or like a relative from that person. So I think that I've changed in like every way. I mean, except without changing who I am and my art, because I,
Mm.
I really don't feel like the album sounds like a different artist. I don't think it sounds not like Billie Eilish. I really think that it feels like me, and if people disagree with that, they disagree with it. But I don't think that it's, I think that I for instance, like I even if whatever anybody thinks, I feel that I did a very good job not changing everything about myself and making it so that I'm, nothing like I used to be. But I
Mm.
also didn't stay exactly the same and not change at all. I feel that I did a good job in my own self, and I feel good with it of how different it is this time, you know?
Yeah, and I want to ask, like, society this day and age, like society judges success based on like the amount of likes you get or streams, airplay, awards. Like,
Yeah.
how do you define success? What do you hope to get from this album?
Mm, I couldn't really care less about numbers. I really just want the fans to love it. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, people say what they're gonna say, and I don't really care as long as the fans get to say what they want to say, and I want them to love it and enjoy it because I made it for them. I made it for me, but I also made it for them. And I think that success is going to be when I'm on stage and hear them singing it or just sing it to them. I can't wait for that. So I think that's going to feel really amazing.
Yeah. And this NDA video is super dope, by the way. I know you directed it.
Thanks.
Um, First, like, how did it feel like be back in the director's chair? And also the meaning behind the video. So I don't know, I interpreted it as like the cars whizzing by you is like the chaos maybe in your life, anxiety, fear. I don't know. That's how I digested it. Just tell me about the process of making it. You know better, you made it. So
I love that you interpreted it like that. That makes me so happy. The making of it was crazy. I mean, it was so much fun. First of all, that video I had a completely different idea originally, and then we got closer and closer to having to do it, and we had to change it because of random stuff. But so it originally was completely different, and then I thought of something else, and then that was completely different, and then I was pretty stumped. I was like, I don't even know what to do because this song feels like fast something. It feels like momentum and like kind of fear, but also not corny at all. Like I really
mm,
didn't want it to. I made sure that it didn't feel like a music video. Like there's no like performance takes where I'm like, just singing on with a backdrop. Really, I wanted it
right.
to just be a really cool visual, and it was so fucking dope to shoot. We shot it in the middle of the night in Lancaster, with 25 stunt drivers zooming past me. It was nuts. It was nuts to shoot. It was crazy.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I was always wondering about the process of making a song, right? So if a song starts becoming like feeling like work, is that like when you throw the song away, or do you see it through? Like, are the best songs one that just like flow through you?
That's a good question. I don't throw them away when they feel like work because usually that happens with every song at a certain point,
Okay.
whether it's when you record vocals, like if it depends what kind of song it is. Like for instance, Lost Cause was I recorded it so fast because it was just right in my voice
Mm,
vocal range, and it very, I just felt good about my voice, and I felt good with all the takes. So that one was like I recorded it and it was super quick. For instance, with like Male Fantasy or NDA for like the choruses,
mm,
those took way longer to record. That was like millions of takes and so much time spent on like debating things. Um, so, but it's a good question though, because sometimes you really feel like giving up because it's so, oh my God, it can be so boring. But
mm,
if you just like dig your way past the part where it like really feels like work, it is so worth it. Like it's very rewarding. So no, but the NDA though was very exciting to sing to make. I even like saw a video of us making it the other day, and we were so happy. We were so excited and ecstatic, and fuck the internet for convincing me that that song's bad because it's fucking fire. Yeah,
oh, it's one of my favorites. We
thank
love
you.
it. Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. And like once you see it through and like you see the finished product, it's got to be like that much more rewarding.
Yeah.
I only got a couple more questions. I know you got to run, release weekend, you got a lot going on. So thank you for the time. The Disney Plus concert coming, super exciting. I got Disney Plus, so now I can watch Boy Meets World and this, so super pumped. September 3rd, it's all going down. How big is this for you to be repping your hometown of LA? Such a big stage.
It's amazing, dude. It's the Hollywood
Yeah.
Bowl. Are you kidding me? That's, the most iconic part about Los Angeles, I feel, especially like in music. So it was amazing. I mean, we shot that through the night, like for 4 days. We were shooting overnight in the empty Hollywood Bowl. I mean, it was so surreal and ridiculous and so hard and so much work. Oh my God. It's going to be beautiful, for real.
Yeah, that's super exciting. And then the tour, you were just saying before how excited you are to be back on the road. What about the tour are you most excited for? Is it the fans, hearing them, recite these lyrics back to you? Like what about the tour are you most pumped for?
That, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, all parts of tour, really. The shows and the fans and seeing them and feeling them and reaching down and touching them and just being in that room, with all of our energies just mixed, really, unbelievable. And there's no other thing in life like it, and I also love everything else about tour. I love my tour team, and we have so much fun backstage, and we scooter around the arena and play cards all day and eat food and
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's on your rider these days? Like, what do you need on the road to make you feel like you're at home?
we got a lot of stuff. My rider always has chocolate milk, lemonade, some snap pea crisps, the tomato basil flavor. We got fruit roll-ups and really good smelling candles and snacks and just candy and all the stuff.
Billie, thank you so much for dropping by MRL and talking to us. Congrats on the album. We can't wait to see you on the road.
Well, thanks for having me. It was great to talk.
A big MRL thank you to Billie Eilish for joining us today. You can see this interview in its entirety at mostrequestedlive.com.